Welcome everybody to Armor of God broadcast podcast. Today we're going to be talking about biblical history, how chapters and verses got into the Bible, and a little on what scholars say about that. I'm Greg Williams. This is Armor of God. Let's get suited up. Stephen Langton, Archbishop of Canterbury, put the first known chapter divisions in the Bible. Printer and scholar Robert Estein, aka Robertus Stephanus, in the 1600s between 1551 and 1571, created the best and final system of verse divisions and numbering that our Bible exhibits today. The creation of the Bible took over 1,000 years and is accredited to well over 40 authors. It is now believed by most scholars that the Tanakh, aka the Old Testament, is part of an editorial process spanning centuries. What this process was and what it means to Jews and Christians isn't entirely clear, though there is some agreement. One point being the sacrifice of Isaac. It is said in early manuscripts that Isaac isn't saved, as in it isn't expressed in the text, even though this doesn't match well with later books like Exodus or even later parts of Genesis. Another example is the multiple authors of Genesis. This is not held by most Jewish or Christian groups because the evidence is fairly weak. The evidence, which is mainly the use of Elohim in early parts of the text and the change to Yahweh in later parts. They'll also add the second creation account and how it focuses more on Adam's relationship with God in the garden. Some scholars reason that the evidence is weak because it matches well with ancient Hebrew poetry. Also, the flow of Genesis starts formal and as it goes on becomes more personal. This is clearly represented in the name of God and the type of relationship established from creating man in the image and likeness of God to the personal relationship as in living with Adam and Eve in the garden. I can't state this clearly enough. Genesis did go through an editorial process, but when all evidence is considered, this wasn't hidden from the community reading the text. Rather, it shows they helped write and pass on the living story that would have been about the family they were a part of. It's important to understand the Bible was originally passed on verbally. More important, to not view it with a modern lens. So the understanding we have of reading the Bible is purchasing one and, from a bookstore, a library, getting one from a church, or just getting a Bible and then reading it when we get a chance. This is not how they would have read the Bible. The Bible would have been read by one person to a crowd out loud, and they would have stopped from time to time to explain parts. Try to keep in mind the original audience would have been saturated in these stories and the stories of the surrounding people. So them not knowing or understanding the story is just false. The parts where we would need things spelled out, they wouldn't. They would just know to fill in the blanks, or wouldn't have viewed them as blank. We don't even understand the words the same as they do. Like, we understand the word Torah as the law, but they would have understood it as the teachings. This would have influenced every aspect of their life. The way they ate, the way they dressed, even the stories they told for fun. Every aspect of their life would have been Torah influenced. So them not noticing that a character died and then disappeared and then randomly pops back up later in the story is disingenuous. As always, all praise and faith to His amazing grace. Brothers and sisters, pray for me as I pray for you, and continue to wear the armor of God.